Very good morning, children. Hope you had a very safe Diwali. Enjoyed the festival. Very good. Now, today we are going to learn your chapter 1 fractions from your term 2 book. Already you learned fractions in your previous class, children, right? So what do you mean by a fraction? Fraction is nothing but a part of a whole. Fraction is nothing but. So what do you mean by fraction? Is nothing but a part of a whole. So what do you mean by this whole? Fraction is nothing but a part of a whole. Whole. What do you mean by this whole? Whole is nothing but either it is an object or collection of object. Either it's a complete object or it's a collection of objects. Right, and fraction has two parts. What are that? Numerator as well as denominator. Numerator as well as denominator. Denominator represents the total number of parts. Denominator represents the total number of parts, whereas the numerator represents the shaded part or the parts that we wanted. So how do we write numerator by denominator? Numerator and denominator are separated by a line called dividing line. Alright. So total parts is the denominator and the shaded part is nothing but the numerator. And we have different types of fractions. What are those? We have proper fraction, improper fractions, like fractions, unlike fractions, mixed fractions, equivalent fractions, unit fractions. So these are all the types of fractions. So what are those fractions we have? Proper, improper, mixed fraction and unit fractions, like fractions, unlike fractions as well as equivalent fractions. These are the types of fractions already you have learnt in your previous class. But just an introduction part or as a recap, let us learn. What do you mean by proper fraction? Fractions whose numerator is less than denominator. Fractions whose numerator is less than denominator, they are called as the proper fractions. Opposite of proper fraction is improper. Like if numerator is greater than denominator, they are the improper fraction. If numerator is less than denominator, they are proper fractions. If numerator is greater than the denominator, then those are improper fractions. And next, mixed fraction. Mixed fraction is nothing but a whole number with a proper fraction. Whole number plus proper fraction is nothing but mixed fraction. Say 3 is a whole number, 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is a proper fraction. Whole and a proper fraction is called as a mixed fraction. Alright children, why don't have like in the mixed fraction, why do we say only a proper fraction? Why not an improper fraction? Yes children, because improper fractions can be further converted into mixed fraction, whereas a proper fraction cannot be converted into mixed fraction. That's why a mixed fraction will have only proper fraction but not improper fraction. Why? Because improper fractions can be converted into mixed fractions, whereas proper fractions cannot be converted into mixed fractions. That's why a mixed fraction will have always combination of a whole number as well as a proper fraction but not improper fraction. Alright children, next unit fraction. As the name suggests, unit means 1. Okay, so the fractions whose numerator is 1, like 1 by 2, 1 by 7, 1 by 6, so on. So the fractions whose numerator is 1, they are called as the unit fraction. Okay, fractions with numerator as 1 are called as the unit fractions. Then like fractions. Like fractions are nothing but fractions whose denominators are same. Fractions with same denominators are called as like fractions. Suppose 3 by 7, 5 by 7, 6 by 7, so on. So here all the denominators are same. So fractions with same denominators are called as like fractions. And opposite of like fractions is nothing but unlike fractions. Like fractions with different denominators are called as the unlike fractions. Fractions with different denominators are called as the unlike fractions. Next, equivalent fractions. So these equivalent fractions, it's like denominators may be same or the numerators will be same. To say in detail, if you multiply or divide, any fraction with the same number, whatever the fraction we are getting, that is called as the equivalent fraction. On multiplying or dividing the fraction, I mean to say on multiplying or dividing the numerator and denominator of a fraction with same number, whatever the fraction we are getting it, that is called as the equivalent fraction. For example, I have 3 by 2. So what I am doing, I am multiplying 3 by 2. I mean to say denominator as well as numerator with the same number. So let us take any number. There is no compulsory like 2, 3, 4. You can take any number. Let us take 3 into 10. So whatever the number I am multiplying with the numerator, the same I have to multiply with the denominator. So 3 into 10, 2 into 10. 30 by 20. So 30 by 20 is called as the equivalent fraction of 3 by 2. Got it, children? So on multiplying and dividing the numerator and denominator of a fraction, the fraction whatever you are getting, that is called as an equivalent fraction. Okay, children? So this is about intro about your chapter fraction, and these are the types of fractions. Now let us start your chapter fractions. Alright. Next you have in your exercise 1.1. How do you read a fraction generally, children? You know how to read a fraction, right? Now see, if I have 2, 3, I read the fraction as in two ways. What is that? The first way, I read it as 2 by 3 or 2/3. How do I read first? 2 by 3 as it is or 2/3. Okay, if I have 4 by 10, that is 4/10. 4 by 10 is nothing but 4/10. Okay, you are adding the suffix ths to the denominator. In the other way, when you are reading out a fraction. Now if I have 7 by 6, how do I write? 7/6. 7/6. Got it? So this is how you are reading the fraction. So your exercise 1.1 is nothing but reading the fraction, and you are going to match the fraction with that particular number range or whatever that 2/3 or 3/4, whatever is given. Alright, children. Next. So if you see your page number 56, you have fill in the numerator to make a whole. So how to make a fraction into a whole? What do you mean by whole in a fraction? 1. Whatever the number 1 is called as the whole in a fractions. Whenever you read a fractions, I said whole may be an object, complete object, or a collection of object. But coming in terms of numbers, generally fractions are nothing but, a whole is nothing but 1. Okay, children, all the proper fractions, whatever the proper fractions are there, they are less than 1. All the proper fractions are less than 1 and all the improper fractions are greater than 1. Okay, now here I have my denominator 4 and there is a box. You have to fill in this box with a number such that this fraction is equal to 1, is equal to whole. Whole is nothing but 1. Okay children. So which number should be written here so that I can make it as 1? See, 4 by 4. If I have 5 by, there is a box, simple 5 by 5. So when a numerator and denominator are same, then the fraction is whole fraction. Got it children? Next, this is about your exercise. What is that? 1.1. Next, coming to your exercise 1.2. Before going to your exercise 1.2, let us see equivalent fractions. Already I have taught you what do you mean by equivalent fractions. Am I right? So on multiplying or dividing a numerator and a denominator of a given fraction, whatever the fraction you are getting, that is called as the equivalent fraction. But there is a test to check whether given two fractions are equivalent or not. What is the test? Let us see. So here in this exercise, you are going to learn how to find out the equivalent fractions and how to check whether the given two fractions are equivalent or not. Now first I have say 2 by 3. So I have to write 4 equivalent fractions for this. Okay. So there is a question like write 4 equivalent fractions for the 2 by 3. So I have said you whatever the number you are multiplying with the numerator, the same has to be multiplied with the denominator. Alright, so here we have to write 4 equivalent fractions. First, let us take the given fraction 2 by 3. I have said you can multiply the numerator and denominator with any number. There is no rule, you have to start from 1, 2, 3, so on like that. Any number you can take of your wish. Now let us take 2 into 3, 3 into 3. So whatever the number I am multiplying with the numerator, the same I am multiplying with the denominator. Now 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9. Again take another the same fraction, 2 into 4, 3 into 4. 2 4s are 8, 3 4s are 12. Next again take 2 by 3, 2 into 5, 3 into 5, 10 by 15. Again 2 by 3 into 7 into 7, 14 by 21. How many I need? 4 equivalent fractions. So I have multiplied the fractions 4 times with 4 different numbers. Now 6 by 9, 8 by 12, 10 by 15, 14 by 21 are called as the equivalent fractions of 2 by 3. You can select, you can choose any number of your wish to write the equivalent fraction. Now if I ask, write 5 equivalent fraction. Again you are taking the same fraction, you are going to multiply with the same number. The numerator and denominator you are going to multiply with the same number and you are getting the equivalent fraction. This is how you can find out the equivalent fractions of a given fraction. Next, how to check whether given two fractions are equivalent or not. Let us take one problem of your exercise only. Now 3 by 8, 9 by 24. Now we have two fractions here, 3 by 8 and 9 by 24. Now we need to check whether these two given fractions are equivalent or not. How? Now let us take 3 by 8, 9 by 24. Now cross multiply. So what are you doing? The numerator of the first fraction you are multiplying with the denominator of the second fraction. Denominator of the first fraction is multiplied with the numerator of the second fraction. See, 3 into 24. 3 into 24 and 8 into 9. Okay. Now 24 3s are 72. 8 9s are 72. I mean, so when you are multiplying the opposite numerator and denominator, if you are getting the product as same, then such fractions are called they are equivalent fractions. So when this product is same, then the two given fractions are equivalent. Therefore, they are equivalent. Got it, children? So in order to check whether two fractions given are equivalent or not, what are you doing? You are multiplying opposite numerator and denominator, and you are checking whether the two products are same or not. If the products are same, then they are equivalent. If they are not equal, then they are not equivalent. Let us take other one. Now we have 4 by 5 and 15 by 19. Now 4 by 5, 15 by 19. Now let us multiply 19 into 4 and 15 into 5. 19 4s are 76. 15 5s are 75. Now here, are the products are same? No, the products are different. Therefore, 4 by 5 and 15 by 19 are not equivalent fractions. If the products are same, then they are equivalent. If they are not equal, then they are not equivalent. So this is how you can check whether given two fractions are equivalent or not. That is about your exercise 1.2. Coming to your exercise 1.3, very simple exercise. Now in this exercise, you have to convert a given fraction into its simplest form. You have to convert the fraction into its simplest form. Now what do you call a simplest form? What do you call? Like, how do you check whether the given fraction is in its simplest form or not? Suppose I take two examples. 5 by 7, 25 by 30. Now I have taken, for example, I am just taking two fractions. Now 5 and 7. Do 5 and 7 have common factors, children? 5 and 7 will come in any same table other than 1? No. So we call 5 by 7 is in simplest form. 5 by 7 is in simplest form. Now coming 25 and 30. 25 and 30 are the multiples of 5, right? How many times? 25 in 5, 5 times. 30 in 5, 6 times. Now further, 5 and 6 will come in any same table, children? No. So we will stop there the cancellation. Now 5 by 6 has no common factors. Therefore, we have reduced 25 by 30 to its simplest form, that is 5 by 6. Any fraction, if any fraction, the numerator and denominator, if it doesn't have any common factors, then that fraction is said to be in its simplest form. If the fraction is not in its simplest form, check the numerator and denominator whether they are the multiples of the same table or not. If they are the multiples of the same table, you can go with the cancellations. Whatever I am doing this striking it off, those are called as the cancellations. So 25 in 5, how many? 5 times. And 30 in 5, 6 times. So 5 by 6 is the simplest form of 25 by 30. That is about your exercise 1.3. So for this week, you are going to complete your exercise 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 till Saturday. And further exercises will be learning in the next week. Okay children, hope you understood this concept. If you have any doubt, please do raise me so that I can make a video on that and I can solve the problem. Okay children, thank you and bye for today.